Hey guys, we are going on a quick hike at the Whiskey Rapid Trail. It is on Algonquin Park, and it's a crisp late fall morning. I'm I I am spending the weekend here, enjoying the last little bit of the camping season, because before you know it, it's going to be all covered in snow. I thought I could answer some of your most commonly asked questions left on my stealth camping video. A lot of you don't understand why I do this. There were a lot of questions. Why do you do this? Is it because you're poor? Well, there are different reasons why I do this. I absolutely love adventures. I love exploring. I love nature. There's something so freeing about having everything that you need on you and having no destination, no set place that you need to be. You just hit the road and you just explore. And when you see something interesting, you stop, you decide if you want to stay, you take your time. You don't have a reservation somewhere that you need to get to, because it's always clean. You know that you're not going to get any bed bugs from some cheap roadside motel. So I just love it. But also there is a financial side to it, because cost of living has increased dramatically, especially in North America. Prices in Canada are getting out of control. I used to camp all the time in established campgrounds, and the prices just keep going up. A lot of the times, I really just need a spot to spend the night. I arrive late and I am hitting the road early the next morning. And here in Canada, you would be paying about 60 Canadian dollars just to spend the night. So part of it is money. I really don't want to be spending all that money just to sleep in my car. But no, I'm not poor. I do have income, but I just choose very wisely where my income goes. And I spend it on gas to get to the places that I want to enjoy. I spend it on gear to go camping, to go hiking, time with my family. This is where I choose to spend my money.
The world from the place beneath the willow. So many years, too many tears on your pillow, on your pillow.
Another question I get asked all the time is, are you homeless? And no, I'm not homeless. I do own a home where I live with my husband and my family. I acknowledge that I am privileged to do this by choice, and I travel in my car for periods of time, sometimes for a couple of weeks at a time, other times just for a night or a weekend. And I know I have a home to return to. Some people live full-time in their vehicles by choice because they really enjoy the lifestyle, they enjoy the freedom, they're minimalists, they don't want to worry about house and bills and all those things that tie you down. They save a lot of money by doing so. And then other people are living in their vehicles out of necessity. Want to glamorize car life because some people are doing it out of necessity and would do anything they could to live in a home. I also want to share with you guys my experience. I want to show you that you can get your SUV and go have a weekend adventure. That you can do it for a day, for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks, very inexpensively. And that has nothing to do with me not respecting people that have to do it out of necessity. Another question that I get quite a bit is, what do you do for ventilation? And a lot of people ask, do you crack a window open? What do you do? I do not. I do not leave windows open because I am a solo female traveler and I feel much safer when I have the car completely locked and all the windows rolled up. I do use a fan in the summer. I've been camping in this car now for about 10 months. And I have never opened a window. I may have the windows open while I'm parked and awake, but once I go to bed, I will lock everything and roll up all the windows. People ask, are you not gonna get poisoned? So I just made a video about that and I'll put the link up here and you guys can check that one out. I did a little science experiment. It was really fun. And people also ask about condensation, and I do not get condensation in the summer, but now that we're heading into winter, last night was the first night that I had condensation. And if you're trying to stealth camp, then that's definitely a giveaway. But if you're just doing boondocking, off-grid camping, or camping on a campground, who cares? You just turn the car on after you wake up and it will dry. Yeah, it just dries very quickly. I'm going to do some experiments about condensation and I'll make a future video about that and see what can we do to minimize condensation. Another question I get asked quite a bit is, what do you do if you need to pee in the middle of the night? Allow me to show you. Let me show you what I do. First of all, whenever I'm sleeping in the car, I will have the driver's seat all the way to the front, which then leaves me with all this space here. And then right here, I have my little bathroom. So in here, I have a urinal that has a lid that seals. And in order to make sure that everything goes in there, I use this. I put the lid back on. I have a Ziploc with toilet paper. I wipe, and then I have a second Ziploc that is for dirty toilet paper. And so I have one with clean and one with used toilet paper. I also have some wet wipes, which I use to wipe this. And I'm done. The reason why I push all the seats forward is so that I can actually crouch down here in this space here. And I will just squat right here. Do my business, have my little basket here. It goes right back there, and I have plenty of space. It works really well. Okay, we are going to look for a spot for the night because it's almost 3 p.m. and it's getting dark really early. Like last night, I think it was like 5:30 was pitch dark. 5 o'clock, it's already dark. I don't really want to be doing anything outside when it's that dark, unless I have a fire, which I might do tonight because it's not raining. So I do have a spot in mind that I actually tried to get to yesterday, but somebody was already there. How dare they get my spot at the lake? So sunglasses. Okay. Hopefully they will have left because I really wanted that spot. The other thing that people ask me all the time is how tall am I and do I have enough space here? I am 5'7" and I have plenty of space, but I'm gonna measure so that if you're taller than me, you'll know if you fit. I usually don't have the seat all the way to the front on the passenger side because if I am not stealth camping, I actually put things in the front seat. If I am stealth camping, then all of that stuff would be in the back. And that makes it a little bit crowded and more difficult to find things. But if I am camping out in the woods, I'm not too worried about being stealth. So I don't mind having things on the passenger seat. I just don't want anything on the driver's seat because that's a safety issue. If for any reason I feel unsafe or I have to leave in a hurry, I don't want to be shuffling things around to get to the driver's seat. But for today's demonstration, I have put the seat all the way forward. And I'm gonna show you how much space there is there. So as you can see, the seat is all the way forward. And the pillow is touching the seat. Have all that space there. And we're gonna measure how long that is. Yeah. Easy 6 foot, probably 6'2". I've also had people not believe I am 5'7". So let's do a little measuring, shall we? 5 foot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay. The tape measure is touching the ground. I don't know. Can you see that? 5'7", my friends. Another question I get all the time is how do I shower? And I'm not gonna lie, I don't shower as often as I do home, but I do shower. And I shower mostly at provincial parks. I do a lot of exploring here in Ontario, and Ontario has a really good system of provincial parks, and those tend to be the nicest areas anyways. So I do a lot of traveling around provincial parks, and though I don't camp at provincial parks because they're simply just outrageously expensive, but if you hold a season pass, you can use the parks during the day and you can use the park's facilities. So basically I spend the day at the park I use the bathrooms, I use the showers, I use the picnic tables. And when the park closes, usually about 10 p.m. at night, I just drive right outside the park, look for Crown Land, and park the car and just sleep. And the next morning I can just go back to the park. So that is basically what I do. And I have also showered at truck stops. Those are pretty expensive, but they can be really nice showers. I have also taken showers in nature, just kind of washed when there is nobody looking. I also swim in lakes, waterfalls, and things like that. Usually when I do that, I don't use shampoo, conditioner, because I don't want to contaminate nature. But it is a nice way to just refresh yourself and take some of the sweat if you're sort of hiking that day. And some people do like gym memberships, like Planet Fitness, Fit for Less, those kind of memberships. But to be honest, one, I don't work out. And I know people can have those memberships just for showering. It's another question that I get quite a bit is, do you actually have to work out in order to use the showers? And the answer is no. They do not have a workout police there that keeps looking if you're doing push-ups or the treadmill. You simply just go in, have your shower, and that's it. It's part of your membership. You're allowed to have a shower there. I don't have one of those because where I travel the most, they're not available. What is available most to me is provincial parks. So it doesn't make sense for me to have a membership that I'm rarely gonna use. So if I'm ever doing, let's say, a road trip through the States, let's say, I might consider that because I know the States has a really good network of Planet Fitness. Not so much here in Canada, and also I tend to be more out in nature and not so much in cities. Now onto the chair. So tonight's not gonna rain, so we're doing the full setup. But I do need to put everything away before I go to bed. Again, if I need to leave in the middle of the night, I don't want to have to be worrying about things that are outside. And second, it is going to downpour tomorrow morning. This little thing goes here. Oops, back in there. This one goes here. This one here. Oh, you have to be really strong for the last one. Ugh. That's when you wish you had someone stronger with you, you know, to do those kind of things. Ah, there you go. My chair. No, I am not single, even though I am having to put my chair together by myself. I am married, but I really enjoy the solitude of solo traveling. I love discovering things for myself. I love the adventure. Plus, my husband works full-time and he doesn't have as much time off as I do. My work is more flexible, and part of my work is YouTube as well, is making those videos, and it is going on those trips, and he can't always accompany me, so I go by myself. And it's never been a secret. I have mentioned my husband before in other videos. I have videos where I'm traveling with him, but I do use the word solo female traveler on my videos because that is the majority of the trips that I do. And so people automatically assume that I'm single. And I had one comment once that said, "She's not single, I'm unfollowing." And I'm like, wow. Like, are you not following me for the content? You're following me because you think I'm single? I think that's quite funny, actually. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It is a little bit weird. Today, I am not messing with starting a fire with flint and steel. I actually brought a fire starter and a lighter. And now we're gonna add a little wine to deglaze the pot. A little bit of, how do you say that? Worcestershire, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. I made so much stew. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of it because I don't have any container. I don't know if you can see it, guys, but this is the moon rising right there. And over here is the sun setting. Isn't this absolutely beautiful? My gosh, look at that. That is incredible. I don't think it's quite full moon yet. This is why I do what I do. This is why I come here in the middle of nowhere. All right, so I'm in my PJs ready for bed, and we're just gonna tackle a couple of other questions that you guys had. And a very frequent question I had is about this lantern. And a lot of people were worried about the car catching on fire. But here's the thing, this is not a real lantern. It's an LED lantern. It is battery operated. Nothing gets hot, and it has batteries underneath here. So yeah, I would never use a real lantern inside a car. That would be a major fire hazard, as well as like the danger of carbon monoxide poisoning. So yeah, I would definitely never burn a real lantern inside a car. This is perfect because it fooled so many people, like so many people thought it was a real lantern. So yeah, it was only like a cheap Amazon lantern, but I love it and I use it all the time. Oh, I am tired and I am ready for bed. Why are you turning off? Good night, guys.
It's raining.
Okay, so now we are onto the main dirt road. So I'm gonna drive to a cute little town called Huntsville and look for a breakfast place. I was gonna go to a diner, have a nice big breakfast, but then I saw this. And you know me, I cannot resist a Tim Hortons. I was craving a French vanilla, warm and sweet. I got my favorite, the loaded breakfast box, which leads me to the last super frequently asked question, and it's, do you live full-time in your car? And the answer is no. I do not live full-time in my car. I do traveling in my car. I do longer distance travels, like I've done 2-3 weeks travels, and I do short camping trips as well. I do off-grid camping, I do in campground camping, I do stealth camping. Whatever is happening, whatever the adventure is the kind of camping that I do. Sometimes I do tent camping. I'll drive with my car, stop, hike, and then camp. I do hiking, like longer distance hiking, like multi-day hiking. Yeah, this is my adventure vehicle. I am very privileged to be able to have this. Oh my gosh, it is raining so much. I hope you guys can hear me. But yeah, I'm super privileged that I do this by choice, that I can do it for as long as I want. And when I feel homesick, or when I am sick of like showering in public places and peeing in a urinal, I can just go home. So yeah, I never take this for granted. I know that I'm very, very privileged, that I have a husband, a family, a home, and that I get the best of both worlds. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that it answered a lot of your questions, because those are questions that were coming up all the time in the comments of my stealth camping video. A lot of people thought I did it full time. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to come along for more adventures, make sure to subscribe and like this video to help the algorithm spread it around. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.